Welcome to Stream Time, where we talk all things streaming. What's on, what's coming up, and what you should avoid. We'll also explore ways to save you money on your streaming services as well. So kick back and relax as we get ready for Stream Time.
Recently released con man Marius Josipović, a released convict who adopts the identity of his cellmate Pete Murphy to avoid past life conflicts. And it turns out to be quite adventurous, chaotic, and possibly even disastrous. We're talking about 2019's Amazon Prime series, Sneaky Pete, this time on Stream Time. Hey everybody, welcome to Stream Time, your show for all things streaming. Thanks for joining us on this episode. And as we talked about in the opener, we're going to be taking a look at 2019's Amazon Prime exclusive series called Sneaky Pete from executive producers Bryan Cranston, who you might know by, that little show called Breaking Bad? Yeah, I think you might remember that one, right? He helped create this series and directed by Seth Gordon, believe it or not, right? Seth Gordon directed this series. And before we get underway, if you want to reach out to us here at Streamtime, it's real easy. It's streamtime@purplepitstudios.com. Again, our email address is streamtime@purplepitstudios.com. We welcome any suggestions, feedback, or comments you may have. And hey, if you like the podcast, would you do us a favor? Would you tell your friends about it and share us with your friends? We'd appreciate that. Great. All right, so let's get underway with this episode's review of Sneaky Pete. Now, Sneaky Pete, its series follows Marius Josipović, played by Giovanni Ribisi, a released convict who adopts the identity of his cellmate, Pete Murphy, to avoid his past life. The series also stars Marion Ireland, Shane McRae, Lib Barrer, and Michael Dreyer, Pete Gertie, and Margot Martindale. The pilot debuted on August 7th, 2015, and was followed by a full series order that September. Shore left the project in early 2016 and was replaced by Graham Yost, who served as the executive producer and showrunner for the remaining 9 episodes. The first season premiered in its entirety on January 13th, 2017, exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. On January 19th, 2017, Amazon announced that Sneaky Pete had been renewed for a second season, which was released March 9th of 2018. And then on July 28th, 2018, Amazon announced that the series had been renewed again for a third season, which was released on May 10th, 2019. However, on June 4th, 2019, Amazon canceled the series only after 3 seasons. Now, each episode's run typically between about 40 to 60 minutes, and 3 full seasons, like we talked about, and it has 30 episodes in all for the entirety of this particular streaming series. Now, the cool thing about this series that we're going to talk about after, I'm going to let you listen to the pilot episode streaming trailer for this, the audio trailer. I'm going to let you listen to that. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you some insights on this series, on whether you should invest the time and watch it or avoid it. But we're going to take a listen to the trailer for Sneaky Pete.
Hi, Grandma. Grandpa, it's me, Pete. Where have you been for the last 20 years?
Tell us what you've been doing.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
We make money by knowing who we can trust and who we can't trust.
You're a con man. I'm a confidence man. I make people feel confident they give me their money.
You stole from me. I can't have that.
You think you're gonna talk your way out of this one? You talked your way into this one.
I'm a very reasonable man. I'm trying to help you.
When a liar gets caught in a lie, they build a bigger lie. We need to be in control of the situation. We need to control him.
If I don't get these out of here tonight, there's a fox who will. Staking a claim to what isn't his, coming into our house. We can't have that, can we?
You got 7 days to give me my money.
Hey, I know you. Where do I know you from?
No, I get mistaken for people a lot. I think I just have a common face.
And there you have it. There is the trailer for Sneaky Pete, which is an Amazon exclusive streaming series. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I loved this streaming series. It has everything you can want. It keeps you on the edge. This is a true series that you want to binge watch. I'm telling you. I know sometimes, you get hooked up with some of these series and you're like, I can take it or leave it. But this one, you're going to want to binge watch. And here's why. The series keeps you guessing. There's narrow escapes by all the cast of characters in this series. You find yourself rooting for Marius Josipović, a.k.a. played by Giovanni Ribisi. You find yourself rooting for this character and wanting him to succeed as he goes along in the series and tries to endear himself to the people he's conning, which is Pete Murphy's actual family, Pete Murphy being his cellmate. Now, Pete Murphy, the character who plays Pete Murphy, his cellmate, you may remember him from that. Remember that little old Tom Hanks movie called That Thing You Do? Yeah, he was in that. And Pete Murphy's alter ego, I want to say, played by Marius Josipović, who was played by Giovanni Ribisi. Okay, the guy who plays Marius. You may remember him from such movies as Knockaround Guys, just to name a couple, one of the big ones. He was in Knockaround Guys with Vin Diesel. You may remember the protagonist in this, who is played by Mr. Cranston. That's right, Bryan Cranston. Remember him from, that little old series on TV called Saturday Night Live. He was there. And then he had this show, what was it called? Oh, yeah, Breaking Bad. Remember that? He was in Breaking Bad, so you might remember him from that as well. Seth Gordon directing does an outstanding job. The series is very well acted, very well produced. Each episode keeps you willfully engaged. I really didn't find myself in any of the 3 seasons of this series find myself lacking anything, getting bored with it or anything like that. I couldn't wait, actually, to the next episode, and I binge-watched quite a bit of this when it was out first run. That's when the streaming providers used to release the whole season at once. Now they've tried this trick of pulling back, releasing maybe 3 episodes at a time. Some do it weekly, like the television stations do. I prefer, I'd like them to, if I had a preference at this point, I don't know what your opinion is, but if you want to email me, at streamtime@purplepitstudios.com and let me know, or comment on our webpage at facebook.com/streamtime. What do you prefer? Do you prefer them to release the streaming services when they do these streaming-only exclusives series? Do you want them to release the whole season at once so you can binge it? Or would you rather have them released maybe in trickles, like 3 episodes here, 3 episodes there? Or do you prefer, just like standard cable television now, 1 episode a week? I prefer, I think, just to have them at the best case scenario for my watching, me and the wife's watching. I'd like to have them release the whole series, the whole season at once. At the very worst case scenario for our viewing enjoyment and our convenience, couple 3 episodes at a time. But I don't get to make those choices because, unfortunately, I don't work for a streaming provider. But this series, like I said, it will keep you entertained. Each episode is as entertaining, and it only gets better and better and better, and they leave you with a great cliffhanger at the end of each season. It's very, very well done, and it's you're like, oh my God, how are they going to get out of this? How are they going to get out of that? And the way they do that, and just to show you that this series was very well written, it's not something that you'll sit back and when they get out of the predicaments they get into, season by season, you don't look at it and go, no, I just don't believe that. It's not that far crazy off the wall that you look at it and go, nah, that just doesn't seem right. It's believable. You could believe that, hey, these people can get involved in these situations, and yeah, this might be a way for them to get out of it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah, this kind of makes sense, and I can see that happening, but wow, what brass cojones to get out of that. So I'm going to give the series Sneaky Pete. If I had to give it a big old rating on 1 to 10, I'm going to give Sneaky Pete a solid 7. It does have a couple little shortcomings in it, nothing too crazy, but for the most part, it's evenly paced. It's got a great story. The only reason I'm taking off some points is that a couple of the characters weren't as developed as I would have liked them to been, and unfortunately, I'm going to take off a point also for them ending it the way they did. And you'll see when you get there. Although it's not an utterly disappointing ending to the series, I think they were getting ready to go on. And unfortunately, maybe they had a couple different endings for the season 3. One where we're going to continue the series, and one, well, oops, what happens if they cancel us? And I would have liked to seen at least another couple seasons of Sneaky Pete. But I'll tell you what, time well spent. It's a very enjoyable series to watch. A lot of great stars, great writing, great acting, great performances by all those involved. So we're giving Sneaky Pete a solid 7. You'll enjoy it. We'll look for it on Amazon Prime Video. Until next time, remember, share the podcast with your friends, leave us a positive rate and review, and I'll look forward to gathering yet again with you on the next episode of Stream Time.